And now we really will turn it over to our panel. So they will pose the question to a candidate who will have 90 seconds to answer, after which we'll move left to right to carry on with rebuttals.
Okay, the first question goes to Mr. Lorello, and the question is, how will you help the businesses in Vaughan survive in our failing economy?
Well, I'd like to start that our economy is not failing. Actually, we're doing quite well given the situation that we're in globally. Some of the things that we've already done, not that we're going to do, but are already in place, is, for example, to reduce the amount of time that businesses have to depreciate new equipment. So we're trying to give businesses the incentive to buy new equipment, and instead of depreciating it over 5 years, they'll be able to depreciate it over 2 years. That will do two things. It will help them on their bottom line and try to make them more competitive by purchasing equipment that will make their processes more efficient and, in the end, make their products more competitive. We're also reducing their business taxes, not just for large businesses, but for small businesses as well. And we're hoping to bring the business taxes down to about 15% over a 4-year period, I believe it is. As well, there's a number of initiatives that the Conservative Party has brought forward with regard to businesses, and specifically they have to do with the business climate itself. In the 2008 budget, there were a number of measures brought forward to give the Bank of Canada more latitude and flexibility to deal with the situations that we're currently dealing with right now. And that was actually a very perceptive initiative by Mr. Flaherty, and we're actually seeing it in action today.
Mr. Lorello on one point, and that is our economy is actually very good, considering we've had several years of 3 to 4% GDP growth. And if you imagine, we're asking the economy to grow by 3 or 4% a year when our population is only growing 1%. And I think that's quite a bit to ask, and we should stop asking that of ourselves, because what happens is when the train stops, we have a recession. And the more growth we have preceding the recession, the bigger our recession or depression that arrives. So I think if we go through a year or two of little or no growth, we can then start again and get back to positive growth. Meanwhile, we're taking a rest. The issue today is the credit crisis, and we need to make sure that our businesses, our local businesses, have access to borrowing to maintain their day-to-day operations, which are quite strong in Vaughan. We have a very low unemployment rate, and our businesses are doing very well considering the world economy. Thank you.
I think that it's equally important. Sorry, you're going that way? Okay.
Okay. I was going to say that I think it's really important to increase some safety standards when it comes to the imports that we have, and I think that increasing those safety standards and those standards in regards to employment and wages that are part of the businesses overseas, if we monitor that a little better, I think that the products that come into the country will be restricted a lot more, and in that sense there will be a larger influx of Canadian products on the market, and I think that'll really help out with businesses in Vaughan.
I think if you look, first of all, the capital cost allowance that we reduced and speeded up, as well as the lowering of taxes when we were in government. But there is something called leadership when it comes to the role that the political leadership of the country needs to show Canadians. And I don't think that the province of Ontario or this riding is well served by a minister of finance that tells people not to invest in the province of Ontario. I think that a government needs to exercise its leadership by encouraging investments in the province, and that also, of course, includes this riding of Vaughan. I must say that we had to do a lot of work to clean up the Conservative mess, and thanks to the wisdom of the then Minister of Finance, Paul Martin, we were able to eliminate the deficit, pay down the debt, and bring about the type of change that was required.
Well, I want to correct Mr. Bevilacqua on a number of points. First of all, we did not reduce the capital cost allowance. The Conservative Party reduced the capital cost allowance. And as well, Mr. Bevilacqua is still living in 1993 when he's still slaying the $42 billion deficit. And and the way they did that was reprehensible. After the $42 billion deficit was eliminated, we had 21% of our hospital beds eliminated, and we ended up with social services on our property tax bill.
Okay, thank you. And we'll move on to our next question from the panel. Okay, thank you.